Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Two Opinionated. I'm absolutely so excited today. I have actress Kubbra Sait with me. So welcome, Kubbra.
Hi, how are you? Actually didn't know where to look for a second. I was like, hi. And then I'm like, why am I hiding myself? Hi, how are you?
So I'll start with saying that you were so nice because of the time change. I was late. I had the time wrong. And so I get the call, I'm driving over, I get the call and it's like, hey, Cooper's in the Zoom meeting. I was like, oh no, I'm not there yet. So thank you for waiting on me.
Oh, it's all good. I mean, I was spending a few minutes watching episode 8 of Foundation.
You're sneaking
What do
ahead.
you do in your free time? I watch my own work.
Yeah.
I am profound like that.
We haven't got it yet because it doesn't come out till tomorrow here.
Oh, that's episode 9.
Oh, well, okay. Then I've watched 8. I was thinking I was on 7. I'm caught up.
You have, yes.
Oh, yeah. So
okay.
I like so you watch your own stuff, which is rare. I think a lot of people don't do that. And I was telling you about me and my son starting this podcast. He absolutely hated listening to himself, hated it. But I always listen to myself, and I'm critical of myself because I'm trying to find things I can do a little bit better. So I listen to it. But then also every once in a while I'll be like, hey, that was pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah, right? Yeah. So I'm sitting here watching the show, making notes, going like, no, I could have pushed it here. Why did I make that face? Interesting. I like that.
Yeah.
Use that trick again. So I'm just sitting and like watching myself. And of course the other actors and now it's like really fun because I'm sending these little videos and voice notes to people. Oh my God, you broke my heart. How good are you? I did that with Tiniad recently. She's so good as the Zephyr. Oh my God. And the scene where Dan McPherson, finds himself in space trying to find the Thespian Lancers.
Yes.
And he's all by himself. Oh my God. I was like, I love
I know. So you had asked me off camera, you asked me how I found
How did you find me?
Right. So I started to answer and then we decided I should wait because it's a
yes.
So
yes.
So
you told me a great story.
Yeah, that's right. That's it, because it's a good story. So I had read all of the Foundation books back in middle school. So I've always been a big fan. Big fan of the series. So then when this series was coming out, I was like, oh, I got to watch that. But you always worry as a fan that they're not going to do it justice, because it's a difficult piece of work. But so my wife and I started watching Foundation. Absolutely loved it. It's so good. The cast is just terrific. And then you come along in the show, and you're our favorite part of the show. Your character is such a badass. I mean, like it's intimidating because like you're so nice and pleasant right now. Your character not like that.
No, right? Oh, I'm so glad. I'm so glad I got paid for what I was doing. I was acting. God, thank God.
You're so scary. Like, whoo.
I love the whole eye bit.
Oh, the eye. Yes. The whole facial scarring.
Yeah. Do you want to know a cool trivia? When we got the scar fixed, right? So we were shooting in Ireland, and the entire crew, most of them at least, were from Ireland. And Claire Lamb is the makeup artist, and she was like, "We're going to place the map of Ireland on your face." So my scar actually is the shape of Ireland.
Well, that's my favorite piece of trivia. I'll be using
I've never said this to anyone else. So
and now when I watch episodes, I'm going to be trying to figure it out if it actually is. Yeah, that's pretty great. So
I'm so happy to know that you're liking the show.
Oh my gosh, it's so terrific. And you are so good in it that we went back and found Sacred Games and watched you in that, which is a completely different role, but just as good. So good.
Wow.
Yeah. So we've been catching up on you. We've been lucky. I had Alexander Siddig was on the show a week or two ago. He's also a fan of yours. He talks to me. He's like, I only had a small role in the show, but isn't she amazing? I was like, yeah, she's amazing. She's amazing. So, and we've got Amy Tiger is coming on in a couple weeks.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm in August company.
That's right. That's right. We tried to hit the ones that, you know, we're fans of. But you're hands down
Amy.
the best part of
Amy is
the show.
my very, very dear friend.
Oh, good.
Like, honestly, like, she's just such a soul sister. And I met her like towards the second part of the filming. So we really didn't get to like really know each other. But then when we did, I think we hit it off like really two long lost friends. And yes, we have a few I love you phone calls that happen now and then. So
I love that. And I'll have to say, I don't want you to give anything away, but I'm worried about her character. I'm worried about her because she's in that kind of relationship going on with the younger version, and that seems risky. Somebody's, you know, once it gets out there that they're kind of seeing each other, I'm worried about her. Her character may be in trouble.
I know. We'll let you stay worried.
But
and worry is not a word I would usually use. I'm like that person, like, oh, don't call it a worry, just be concerned. I'm that person. Like, yeah. Please respond, don't react. I'm that person.
But her now, she as an actress, terrific, just terrific.
Isn't she amazing? Amy Tiger for the win, man.
Yeah, but the whole cast. Tell me a little bit about how you got that role. And, you know, what the, you know, did you audition for it? Did somebody reach out and say, we've got the role for you? You know, how'd that come about?
I wish the latter comes true for my next project. Amen. But for this one, I was called into a room here in India, actually, by one of our favorite casting directors. She's really, really good. She cast for Lion, the movie, Extraction.
Oh, yes. Yes.
So she's been a part of like some really, you know, big time productions.
Big stuff,
and Lucinda Sison, who is the main casting agent for the series itself, she is in London, and, you know, this casting call went all over the world.
Yeah.
So she sent an email to Tess Joseph asking her, what if Farah could be Indian? Could she be Indian? And Tess went like, absolutely yes. So then there was this big, huge casting hunt that happened here in India. And I was one of the actors who auditioned. And then I was asked to come over to Ireland for a screen test. And I was like the happiest cutlet to be flying into Shannon Airport. Like, people were like, you're going to Shannon Airport. You do know that, right? And I'm like, yes. Why are you so happy? No one's so happy to go to Shannon. And I'm like, yes, this is going to change my life. I'm going there, you know, for something that is going to be the foundation of my career. Yeah, so that was my story. And that's how I got this job, yes.
That's pretty great. Had you ever read the books, heard of the books, anything before the show?
See, this is the thing. If you have to be an Isaac Asimov fan, or if you have to be a geek or a nerd, as you referred yourself to be.
Yeah, that's right.
Right? You should have been, converted, or at least found that world alluring at the age of 12, 13.
Yeah, that's right.
Right? At 12, 13, my universe was very different. I was still playing with Barbie dolls, and, I had like a kitchen set, and I was reading Indian comics, and I really wasn't exposed to the world of sci-fi or Asimov. And I think it gets really difficult to turn like 38, get this job, and you go like, I am an Asimov fan. I'm going to read all the books.
That's
and
right.
I'm going to know everything.
It's daunting.
Yes. So I'm the kind of person who would probably watch this show and then be like, I want to know what the book says.
There you go.
So I would start reading now. Vis-a-vis, and when I was filming for this, I did ask the makers, I said, is Farah a character in the books? He said no. So I said, oh, then it's easy. I don't need to read it now.
She should have been, though.
She's pretty good, huh?
Pretty good.
Yeah, she's good. I absolutely love the chemistry between Salver and Farah.
Yeah.
We gave her a name. We called her Falver, like we called us Falver. Yeah. Because we can't do without each other. We can't do it without each other, and yeah, we have to do with each other. It's just bizarre.
Well, you can feel the chemistry. You know, I think as fans, especially, you can tell if actors are they're just acting. They're not really connected or getting along. But you guys seem like you're really connected.
Yeah, she was my first friend, like ever on the show. When I went in actually for my screen test, and I was really lucky because I was like the only one in the room. But when Leah was auditioning, there were more than one contenders for the part.
Yeah.
And Leah is this incredible human being who slips into my Instagram DMs and says, hey, I'm around if you want to do your lines before the screen test tomorrow.
Oh, how nice.
And I'm just like, oh my God. And I did mention this to David S. Goya, and he said, that's a good egg.
Yeah, that's a good egg.
Yeah, that's a good egg. And yeah, so Leah is that person to me.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. So you mentioned yourself at 12 or 13. Talk a little bit about how you got into acting. What made you want to go into entertainment?
You know, I think I didn't ever want to be an actor. I didn't know what it meant because the kind of movies I was watching, there were basically three characters: the good guy, the bad guy, and the leading man's lady.
Yeah.
And everybody else was just by the way kind of a thing. So there wasn't a real defined genre where character actors were actors.
Right.
There was a star force around, the people who were working, and people thronged to theaters to watch them. They were demigods of kinds. So that was the kind of movie culture I grew up to. And I didn't know what it meant to act because I always felt I don't look that pretty to be the leading lady of a film. I don't fit. That's not me.
That's very modest.
No, see, now I think I'm all right, but back then, no.
None of us were all right.
No, not at all. I mean, we gotta be honest, but we gotta be honest, okay?
Right.
So anyway, I had to find myself a job like the regular kids in a middle-class family in India do. So my first tryst with destiny really was to find a job. So I actually moved to Dubai, worked for 5 years, found a job at Microsoft. Hated it.
That's a long way from acting.
Yeah, it's like the other end of the spectrum. And I had no like hunger to be like, I'm going to leave Microsoft and one day be in Google and then be Facebook. I didn't have that. Like, I wasn't that person, Yeah. And then, I just one day woke up and called my mom. And I said, hey, Ma, I think I want to come back and pursue a career in the arts and entertainment, and we'll see where it goes. I've been someone who's found myself a job and whatever else from the scratch. I think I should give this a go, and I should give it an honest go. And she said, yeah, cool. I was like, are you okay?
Well, like, was your brother already kind of dabbling in entertainment?
No, I'm the other one.
Yeah, okay.
See, he was still in college.
Okay.
He was still studying.
That's a big step then.
Yeah, he was still studying, and I was the one who said, I'm going to come back and do something on my own. So I moved to Mumbai, which is the hub of entertainment when it comes to the Indian subcontinent. Somehow so many movies get a worldwide release. Of course, today, even the South Indian films are getting, that kind of a reach through OTT platforms. And, the world of entertainment's become smaller. Like, we're watching Korean films and shows over here.
Right.
Or Turkish soap operas, And back in the day, we had, like, Bold and the Beautiful. or Baywatch, you know? So like our repertoire is growing and, we're making that connection between worlds.
Yeah.
And I have no idea why I'm telling you all
Were you a fan of Bold and the Beautiful?
I thought it was soppy, it was.
Well, it was. It was. We had it's been a couple years, but we had Eric Braeden, who was on Bold and Beautiful for years, was on the show with that. And so that's why I was curious. I was like, well, he was on there forever.
Yeah, no, see, I have no memory of these people. Not a fun fact. When I got to know, like, I am working on foundation and I wanted to check, it said David S. Goya. I was like, IMDb this.
That's right. That's right.
Not
unlike me when I'm preparing for a podcast. I bring up IMDb.
I just want to ask you that bringing who I'm going to meet and what that body of work is.
Right. You want to know.
And I was like, I think I am a bit of a blue blood when it comes to LA and, making films. I'm like, I am now aware.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right. Now you know.
He is like His Excellency David S. Goyer, so.
Yeah, he's done a few things. I mean, he's all right.
Yeah, he's all right.
Let me ask you this, just on an interested note, because I went through your IMDb page, which most of the things on there I didn't recognize because they're from India, and so I haven't watched a ton of that, although Sacred Games loved. But I noticed that you changed the spelling on your name for different roles. Yeah, so there was an extra B, there was an extra A I saw on one. What was
B.
Yeah, so what was the reason?
I don't know if you're going to say, well, so this could sound like mumbo jumbo, but then, all right, why am I being shy? I own this stuff, okay?
That's
right. So when I was born, I just found my birth certificate recently, and my spelling was Kubrah.
Okay.
All right. And then my mom went on to like filling up all these forms, and my name became Kubra. They dropped the H. Now, apparently, I'm trying to sound so serious about this, yeah, Michael. Okay. So then my name had the vibration that wasn't working with my soul and spirit. So numerologically, I had like someone consult me and said, why don't you add an extra B and it will bring the right vibration to who you are? Because your name, they say they choose names in India and the names are so powerful that they can form your destiny.
Okay.
So Kubbra is the great one or the big one. All right. So I didn't want anything to be not vibing with my energy. So I did consult a numerologist and I had it changed.
I'm so glad I asked this question.
Oh God, that was such a long answer. And I don't know if
that's such a good reason. I thought you were going to tell me to be like, no, I just decided to add a B.
No, there was like a science. Yeah, there was a whole thing. Science there.
It's a whole thing. So did your mother, did she change the H to an A? What was the thought process there? Did she just be like, it's just easier with the A?
I have no idea why she missed it, but I think we've got a family history of spelling names incorrectly in different government, documents. So my father has like Zachariah, something else. It's in the family.
Well, so my last name, normally it would be Walls with an S. So everybody I've run into, I've never run into a Wall. It's always been Walls. And it always made me a little curious. I was like, well, why are we Wall and everybody else is Walls? And I figured out that my grandfather just decided he didn't want the S. So he decided when he was a young man, drop the S and it became Wall. I don't know if he ever did it officially, but now it's official because it's on everything.
It's Michael Wall.
It's Michael Wall. So we lost.
This is the first time I'm talking to a wall.
That's right. That's exactly right. But now it makes me think I need to do that. But what could you do?
I will happily pass my numerologist's number to you.
Yes, or Mike. There's nothing you can do. What am I going to do there? I guess Michael. Maybe I could put in a K. Maybe I don't.
Yeah.
There's nothing. Your name's it lends itself to changing with adding letters. Mine does not. Mike or Michael. There's not much.
Yeah, Michael's Michael. Yeah.
That's it.
That's it.
But I'm very glad I asked that question. I know it.
I'm glad you did. I've actually never really spoken about it.
Well, there you go. Podcasting. We're getting at the root of the
podcast. Stuff. On this podcast, we listen.
So when you were growing up, what did you do? Did you play sports? Were you, in theater? Did you do music? What did you do?
I think I used to be a shirker. I wouldn't really play a lot of sports. I would get lazy. But then I was forced to play basketball. So I think I kind of gained a few inches because of that.
Yeah.
And then I broke my nose because of basketball as well.
Elbow.
Then I had I once rode a cycle into like a gutter. And then I got off and came to my mom and I folded my hands and I said, please, I will never ride a cycle again. Please promise me you won't make me ride a cycle again. And then my mom was like, don't ride a cycle again.
Yeah, fine. Just don't do it.
Fine.
How
I don't
tall,
think that was really
how tall are you?
5'7.5".
Well, that's pretty good. That's okay. That's pretty good height for basketball.
Yeah, if I stand up, you won't miss. You will miss my head.
Yeah, you're about my height because I'm like 5'8", 5'8.5". I always wanted to be tall. Oh yeah, I always wanted. Well, thank you. I always wanted to be taller, but all the men in my family very short.
Now I'm imagining the rest of you, Michael. This is not working.
At the end, we'll stand up.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. That's a deal. Okay.
I always say my grandfather, he was like 5'5". He was the littlest man, but you would have thought he was like 7 foot tall because he was very commanding. But just a little guy. So I always wanted to be a few inches taller. Thankfully, my son Brett that does the podcast with me, he's like 5'10". Some of his cousins managed to get to 6 foot and stuff. So some height came in, but it wasn't due to anything on my side of the family.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I actually blame it on basketball, but I don't really think it was the real reason that I became. Yeah, my mom was like 5'4", my dad's like 5'6", maybe.
Oh yeah. So you're.
My brother's tall. My brother's taller than I. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I think we got it from the maternal side. My mom's brothers and father was really tall.
Yeah. You probably did. They always say it passes down through the mom.
Yeah, I think
that's probably true. So when you decided to go into entertainment, what was your first job? What was your first venture into that?
Oh wow. I think I hosted an event in Bangalore, and it was for 12 people. And I said, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I conducted this show and I made the CEOs dance and I did all those cool things. Yeah, that was my first job.
That's a good first job.
As an adult, my first job in entertainment was hosting a show, a live event for 12 people. Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I think so too, honestly.
Yeah, well,
we were like 12 people in a room.
You've done other.
Sorry?
I was just saying you've done other hosting since then.
Oh, yes, but that was just the first one.
Yeah.
And then, I've hosted, I've broadcasted on television with, 1 million people watching, or hosted, really massive concerts with, 30,000 people in the audience. It's lovely. I think hosting is really special to me because the gratification is instant. You don't have to wait till tomorrow. You don't have to decide what the fate of your performance is. It's right there.
Right there.
So I think that was something that I particularly enjoyed for a long time in my life. And then I was like, I want something more challenging.
That's right.
I want to enjoy something else in the arts. And that's how acting really happened.
Words that I will never say. This is as challenging as I want to get. Right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
I don't need to act. I don't need to act. I've had
like Michael, we will be talking one day and it would be a whole different tune you'll be singing to.
I know. One day we'll be talking and you'll be interviewing me and I'll be this big actor.
Sure. I think that would be more like a chat show where I'd be like,
oh yeah,
would you like to be on my afternoon show or my evening show?
Oh no, we got to do an evening show so we can have a cocktail.
Okay, we do an evening show. Done. Sounds good.
Yeah. You should do a podcast.
Why? Because I jabber a lot, like jabber more.
You've got the background.
Because you told me your son didn't want to be on camera because you talk too much, and I like to talk too much.
All right,
so
okay.
there you go.
I've given it away. Yes. But I'll be happy to be the first guest. You can practice on me.
Done.
We'll drink cocktails and we'll get like comfy chairs. It will be a whole thing.
That would be an asset. Yes, comfy chairs is good. Yeah.
I've got a friend of mine that does a podcast, but it's broadcast, so it's on like Amazon or something like that. But he does it in like a fancy bathrobe and drinks wine. I'm like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. He's very comfortable.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I have yet to see a guest show up in a bathrobe, but maybe one day.
Everyone's dressed in like gowns, like they're dressed to go to the red carpet.
Yeah,
that's cool.
But now it's a very fancy bathrobe. Like you would think it'd be one of those you'd see like someone wearing in a mansion where they're, have a fancy cigar and brandy or something. It's like that.
Oh.
Yes, it's pretty good.
That's cool. That's a crib.
Yes, that is. Yeah, for sure it is. Yeah. I wouldn't know, but I've heard. So what was what kind
of a hearsay podcast am I on? That's the news for you, ladies and gentlemen. This is what we heard.
This is what we heard. No firsthand knowledge here.
It's all hearsay. Okay, go on. Okay, what's your next question?
So you decide you need a bigger challenge. So how do you get into acting? What's your first role?
I was working with one of India's biggest superstars. Like it was his film. And I was playing a maid in it.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, that was my first role. Yeah. And it was like a
Were
funny,
you the killer?
Classic comedy film.
Oh, comedy. Okay.
So I'm a maid who is disguised as a rich person's family.
Yeah.
Like a member of the family. So I become a hot maid. And I ride a Hayabusa, like one of those super bikes. I ride one of those.
Oh.
And yeah, it was a really cool part. I really enjoyed it. Also, it was like my first big film.
That's pretty great.
Yeah. I mean, I think I've taken a lot of joy in every little work that I have done because I had no formal training in acting. I learned and I am learning each day on every set.
That's kind of amazing that you're able to.
So I actually enjoy it. So I don't think if I would have said yes to that, I probably would be talking today to you about foundation. I think every decision, every choice in your life has its impact eventually.
Yeah, I love that.
It leaves its imprint. And I think it's really important to recognize all of those choices. No, I think I've had such a great ride. Like I've enjoyed every moment along the way, like so far. And I know I'm going to enjoy it as we unravel the rest of the onion.
Yeah, that's so great. So has foundation, has that made you want to do more out of India?
If I do, I mean, now I would actively seek it. I remember Sacred Games had just released, we had been nominated at the Emmys International.
Yeah.
And before I made my visit to New York, I actually stopped over in LA. And at that time, I didn't have foundation. I had no conversations about it, nothing. But I was walking into these meetings and introducing myself. And I felt like the door was just a little ajar, just like that. and I had to put my toe in and be like, hi.
Stop that from closing.
Yeah. I don't know why. I just have a very strong feeling that now the door is open and I'm standing in the door, and
oh, it's open.
This would make conversations sound very different. Like these conversations would allow people to think of me in different characters, you know, in the stories that the rest of the world is trying to say.
Yeah.
You know, and I think this is such a great opportunity because honestly, I think what swayed me off my feet was the fact that Farah could have actually been from anywhere in the world.
That's right.
So the kind of vision, you know, David Goya and Josh Friedman and the makers and Apple itself and Lucinda had, you know, saying, let us bring somebody who's not from this. They didn't change my accent for the show. I have my own accent.
That helps.
You know, they didn't want me to look different but sound the same.
Yeah.
You know, so my true ethnicity was allowed to flourish the way it is on Foundation because I am from a different planet.
Right.
And I think that, I know that doesn't sit well after 3 seconds, but like I am from a different planet. Like, yes, if you speak so. But, but I think that for me is the essence of inclusivity, right? That's what we're talking about, diversity. We're not talking about diversity for namesake. It's something that you believe in. It's something that you practice. It's something that you apply in your day-to-day life. And through those choices you make, we become a part of your stories while you become a part of our stories.
Yeah, I think that's a terrific way to look at it. Yeah, it's really good. What's the difference in like, you're welcome. Yeah, what's the difference in like acting in an Indian production or more of a Hollywood production? Or is there a difference?
You know, I think our country makes the most amount of films, like
there's a lot of content.
Itself makes more films than Hollywood, right? And this is one part of this subcontinent that makes films in other languages. So when we put everything together, we make the most number of films in a year.
Yeah, I believe that.
And we've got some incredible technicians. In fact, now with OTT, we're seeing a lot more talent come to the surface.
Right.
Also, the kind of stories we're telling are changing. But I still think that my only takeaway of working in the West is that every person and every person's time is valued.
Yeah.
In the West. What I felt was that everybody was committed to doing their job. And everybody was diverting their energies in the same direction, in the same focus. And somehow I feel like in India, when we do films, we have so many people doing the same job that we kind of get lost. You know?
That makes sense.
And then we're just finding ourselves in the chaos, which is a very unique experience and individual to itself, because I was actually startled by the silence on a set because I'm used to working in commotion.
Right.
You know, so for me, it was like, what? People can be quiet on a set? What? Nobody stays quiet on a set. Yeah. You know, so I think it was that for me. So I, as an actor, I still did the same work. I acted here and I acted there. I relied on lines here and emotions and my inner truth here, and I did the same over there. But I think the other thing really that really stood out for me was that this was the first time in 11 years of my career I was working on one project at one time.
Wow.
If I were in India, I would have easily been doing 4 other things. So, you know, your mind is distracted.
Yeah.
You know, because we just have so much work going on. So in that sense, I felt I had something more to offer because this is all I was doing. I was waking up in the morning, reading my script. I would go to sleep, I would read my script. I would read it through the day. I would read it at lunch. I would read it at breakfast. it's all I had to do. So
Yeah.
I think in that sense, it was a really powerful and a really unique experience.
Yeah, that's really good. That's really good. I wasn't sure what your answer would be with that, but that's pretty good. So there was a difference, not necessarily better or worse, just different.
Yeah, because I think we are different people. We're culturally different, and it would be we're just different from each other.
Right.
That doesn't make us better or worse, as you said. We're just different, and to be able to embrace our own uniqueness, I mean, watch Foundation, and you have Demerzel, Laura Byrne from Finland. You've
Yeah.
got Terrence Mann from America. You've got Jared Harris, but come on, he's got an Irish legacy.
Yeah.
You've got Lee Pace, and you've got these two bright, beautiful, young, amazingly talented girls, Lulu Bell and Leah Harvey, Cassian Bilton, so many actors from the United Kingdom, Dan McPherson from Australia,
Yeah.
India.
That's an
This
international
was
cast.
like, this was like potluck at a show.
How long did it take for the makeup part of it? How long did it take to prep, when you had to shoot?
Well, so for me, it would start off with, when we started, it was about an hour and 40 minutes.
Okay.
But then we quickly narrowed it down to 45.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Did it take you a while to come out of the
yeah, 45 minutes to come out of it.
That's
I had
still
to
a long day.
Every day,
Yeah.
but my skin started to glow. Thank you.
Oh, very good. Very good. Because I've heard some people have trouble.
Only one side of it, because this was the only side that was getting scrubbed. So I was like shining on this side and dull on this.
I didn't want to point it out, but I was going to say this side looks, a little shinier than the other one. All right, so I'm going to name some characters, and you tell me if you've ever played them.
Okay.
Okay. Police detective.
No.
Oh, I think you'd make a good police detective. We should work on that.
Okay, done.
I'm gonna work on that. I'll come up with something.
Yeah, we'll do another interview. I'll make you watch my other show when it comes out.
Yes.
Okay, done. Okay,
yeah, done. Okay. So police detective. I have this vision of you like in the kind of like the pantsuit, with the gun and the
who I really like. Now, don't kill me for this. I don't know her name. I don't remember her name, but Dexter. You remember her sister? Sister?
Yes.
Dream.
Yes. There you go. Yes, exactly. That's exactly what I'm thinking of. Okay. Very good. So how about, have you ever been the killer?
Yes.
Very good. Very good. Have you been the victim?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes. Yeah.
Did you ever have to play like a tech person or something similar to what you did before you went into acting?
No.
Ah.
I never played a techie. Yeah. I think it would be very boring. I'll say no to the script now.
You're saying no to techie. No.
Now. Immediately. I reject you before you reject me.
Let's see. How about a private investigator?
A private investigator?
Yeah, like somebody, an investigator type.
Investigator type. No. Yeah. No. But I have created an nymphomaniac.
Hey.
You wouldn't have got that one.
No, that's probably not one I would have guessed. What was the name of that movie? Just, for personal.
It's called Jodie Breakers. And it was actually a remake of an English film. I think Heartbreakers.
Heartbreakers. Really? I've seen Heartbreakers.
Yeah, like a husband and wife would go about like breaking couples up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was remade, and I was a character in the film who's nymphomaniac. Who is a nymphomaniac? Yours truly. You're welcome.
Yeah. That's all right. Yeah, I never would. That's not one I would have asked you. So that's pretty good. Was that a difficult role to play?
No, I had so much fun playing it. I had costumes and stuff like that. I was whipping away. I had so much fun. I was like a child in like a candy store. I had so much fun.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that's terrific.
Yeah.
That's terrific. So let me think. Sacred Games, you played a trans woman.
Yeah.
You know, how did that role come about? And, you know, what, any revelations from playing that role?
Well, I didn't even realize that someday I'm going to wake up and be interested in knowing about a community that is fighting for the right every day.
Yeah.
For me, it was just a part, and I didn't know the kind of impact this part is going to make on so many people's lives, including mine. These are not conversations that we have or we've had in our homes or through sex education in our schools.
Sure.
So it's a very avoidant conversation. You know, nobody really sits and talks about it or educates each other about it. And I was really interested. And I was only interested after I had played the part, because it was very raw for me. It was super interesting. I felt some things inside me shift, and I was instantly drawn towards knowing more about the community. And about 6 months later, our Supreme Court abolished a law. It was archaic, this law that criminalized people of the same sex.
Yeah.
Having, you know, a sexual relationship. So basically, homosexuality was criminalized up until that point in our country. And all of a sudden, Kuku and Gaitonde become like poster children of the movement.
Yeah.
And that's something that you can never, ever plan for. That's destiny, I think.
Yeah.
And the fact that all of a sudden I was asked to comment on the community and speak for the community, and I'm tearing up, you know, when I heard the verdict, like I was in tears. And we were sitting with my makeup person and we were like, congratulations. And we hugged him and he's like, we've got a long way to go, darling. And I was like, you know, like this community has been fighting for their rights for so long that it didn't even occur to us that they are part of us. And I think this part allowed me to get closer to them, understand more, or at least seek more. Yeah. And in that sense, it was a huge part for me, like a huge part.
Yeah. So how was your representation with that character received in the community?
They loved it. I am their poster child. Yeah,
I knew they did.
Yeah, that was truly a character that put me out there where people were like, she's an actor.
Yeah.
And we'd like to work with her as an actor. So it brought about a lot of difference in my career for me personally. It was an incredible character. It was beautifully, sensitively written. And I had the opportunity to work with one of India's brightest and most incredible filmmakers, Anurag Kashyap, one of India's most favorite and beloved actors, Nawazuddin Siddiqui, who plays Gaitonde. So I think for me, it was a win, 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 win. Like I took home the jackpot for that.
The scene where you're kind of in the I don't know what you call it, the little dressing room, and you get so upset, you know, oh my gosh, it had me in tears. It was so emotional.
Yeah, when I actually saw that scene for the first time, I was dubbing my own voice in English for it, and that's when I saw this scene. And when I had to recreate the emotions, I was weeping again. And that's when I walked out saying, hey, I think I've done well on this one. Huh?
Yeah, I think I'm an actress.
You're an actress, huh?
I know that, but on a much smaller scale. I've had moments where I'll be like, hey, I'm a podcaster.
That was a good question, Michael.
No, you're so great. And in that role and in the role on Foundation, you say so much without even speaking. You have the best facial expressions. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's why I said you're such a badass on Foundation. I wouldn't mess with you. You turn that look to me and I'd be like, I'm out. I'm not sticking around.
He served his purpose.
Yeah, that was the scene where you're kind of, the guy goes floating off into space, and it's so horrible, and you're just like, you need to get
He's so cold, man.
Yeah, I mean, you're like, you got to get over
this. Gordon, there is no time for this. Oh, yeah. I had to bite my tongue every time I had to say those mean lines to Salve.
It was brutal.
She's brutal.
Yeah, she really is.
I think my favorite line is, "You do luck, I do skill."
Hands down. I like that. Yeah. That's a really.
And I really, really love "We're forcing your hand, director. You don't play chess with someone who's willing to set the board on fire." I love that line. Ooh.
That we said that when you said it, that was a really good line.
I thought that was great. What a great line.
Yeah, but the whole show is so well written. The dialogue.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it's really well done.
Thank you.
Yeah, people should be watching that. I'm sure they are. So
sure they are.
It's so good. It's
I
so
hope
good.
they are.
It's so
I
good.
wish they
Apple TV. It's like everything they put out is good.
Yes, right. I love the morning show. I love Ted Lasso. Like
everybody loves Ted Lasso. Yeah, I've had a couple of the actors from the morning show been on, and that show's terrific, and it's well written.
Yay.
Yeah, pretty good. So, is there a genre that you haven't done that you would like to do?
No, so I've done a comedy, I've done action now, I've done sci-fi now, I've done crime, courtroom drama.
Yeah, that sounds like all of them.
Yeah, but that's not all the kind of characters I've played,
No, there's still plenty of characters.
I had to play like a dad, there are like 7 billion kind of dads I can play. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So I think in that sense, the repertoire never really finishes. There is no end of the spectrum, really. And I think
that's you've got a wide range.
Challenging. Yeah, but to think of it, I started like 4 years ago. So I think I'm yet to give my best.
That's scary.
Yeah, that is scary. I'm having fun though.
Well, you should be having fun.
What's that? That's always thing. I was dying to say that from the beginning.
Yeah, that was good. You've been holding that one back.
Oh, yes, I have.
So I saw that when Sacred Games came out, you got to go to the Emmys, right?
Yes.
Was that your first award show?
Well, out of the country, yes.
So you've had some there in India. This is always a question I'm curious about. How did you know how to dress? How do you know, you look in your wardrobe and you're like, yeah, this ain't gonna cut it. I got to step it up.
I realized not too late, but not too early in my life, just at the right time, I think that I do need a stylist to tell me what I'm supposed to wear.
Well, that was kind of my point, because I'd be like, I would have to have some people because I'd have.
Yeah. Give me a blue jeans and a white shirt any day of the month and I'll be in it.
Yeah.
Or now, recently, khaki is my thing. So I wear a lot of khaki and I really like it. Like new tones. But yeah, blue jeans and a white shirt. And really baggy outfits and hair usually tied back. I think I really enjoyed that version of myself.
Yeah.
And then there is this other glam, dolled up version for the red carpet. And I love that too.
Yeah.
But I'd rather trust someone to style me. And I was so glad with how I was feeling. I was I had the opportunity to wear two outfits. I wore a Nikhil Tampi suit and I wore a Gaurav Gupta gown. And both of these are Indian designers, and I had such a field day.
Yeah. That's what podcasting is missing. There's no red carpets for us.
Soon, maybe you can start one.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. You could be my host on the red carpet.
I don't want to host anymore. I want to act.
Well, it's a podcasting, award show though. But if you do your podcast, then I could have you on as a podcaster.
Right.
There you go.
Fair enough.
You've moved on from the interviews.
Yeah, from the speaking business, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. Maybe I could try that. I wonder if I could do interviews on a red carpet. I'd probably get nervous though in person.
No, I think it'll be fine.
If I had a stylist that fixed me up where I was confident, I'd be out there and be like, oh yeah. Then
I think we're fine, Michael. We're fine.
Okay, if you say so.
Yeah.
I trust you.
All right. Yeah, good. Like you have a choice right now.
I have no choice.
Let it go now. It is 11 p.m.
Yeah, we got to wrap up. So Kubbra, thank you so much for your patience and for.
I have to really wriggle out of your show.
Yeah,
you come in when I call you, you leave when I tell you to. I mean,
that's right. You're out of here. No, listen. I really appreciate the time because I know it's late over there, and I tend to go on for too long. So thank you so much for.
Thank you, Michael. It was such a pleasure to talk to you, and I'm so glad you're watching the show and enjoying it. And when you meet Amy, please say hi.
Oh, I will. So I've got a couple of little things before you go.
Oh, okay.
One, we're close to that. One, is there anything that you have upcoming that we can kind of keep an eye out for?
No.
Okay. That's all right. Well, the foundation's pretty great.
Yeah, I think I'm really enjoying this. I'm really enjoying, the conversations around foundation right now.
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying the way it's. Yeah, so I'm really enjoying this moment because I remember when Sacred Games happened, I was just as busy answering these interviews and having these conversations, and I was this blowout star, I remember. And I wasn't tired of a single interview because I was answering the same questions to people.
Yeah.
And I knew that I would never have another first in my life. And this for me is my first Hollywood or my first Western project. So I really, really am enjoying this right now.
Oh, that's such a great attitude. So you never got tired of it until you met that dumb podcaster from West Virginia that kept you up half the night. And now you're like, I'm done.
Stop speaking about yourself like this. Stop speaking about your competitor like this. I have another call to get on to now.
Okay. All right. So last thing, real quick. Where can we find you on social media?
Oh, you can find me on Instagram. I'm on KUBBRASAIT. There's a blue tick to it. It's got Farah's face, so you'll find her. I'm on Twitter with the same ID. You have my email address.
Yeah.
Facebook.
I'm not going to give it out, though.
Does anyone even use it anymore?
Yeah, we're on there.
Okay, good. So then, same name.
There you go. All right, very good. Well, Kubbra, thank you so much. This has been so much fun. You have to come back at some point.
Yes, I'd love that. Thank you.
Well, you're so welcome. Okay, hold on one second. All right, so that was the talented Kubbra Sait. I'm so thrilled that I got a chance to speak with her. I think she is just amazing. Do yourself a favor. If you're not watching Foundation, check that out. She is terrific. Absolutely best part of a really good show, I think. Sacred Games right now is on Netflix. Really, really excellent show. And you'll know the scene that we were talking about during the podcast when you come to it because it's amazing. She's so good in it. So definitely check that out. Thank you guys for tuning in again this week. definitely do not take that for granted. You guys come back week after week. I really appreciate that. Thank you. If you haven't done so yet, we could use the help with our YouTube channel, MeisterCon Pod. If you could go there and subscribe, that would be terrific. You can also find all 300 plus episodes on our website, meistercon.com. Audio and videos on there. We've got a terrific blog from Brad. It's fun, it's geeky, it's well written, so check that out. You can also find out if we're doing any in-studio events or if we're going to any conventions, covering those. Anything that we have going on will be on there, meistercon.com. So until next time, thank you guys. Bye, everybody.